Happy holidays, all. Well, this is it. 2 weeks remain in the NFL's regular season, and Week 17 starts in a matter of hours. but yeah. So it's getting very, very interesting all around. The AFC, not everything was completed, which is good because that leaves us something for this week. Hopefully, something is left for the final week. But let's get to this week now, Week 17. And here's how things stand entering this insane week. Of course, here are the AFC standings, leading the pack as usual. The Kansas City Chiefs at 14-1, second in the conference. The Buffalo Bills at 12-3. Pittsburgh Steelers dropped to 10-5 with their loss, same record as Baltimore, but Pittsburgh has tiebreakers. The conference record puts them still in first place in the AFC North, but they are out of the number one seed chase. Houston sits at number 4 at 9-6, and again, as I said, Baltimore's number 5 at 10-5. Of course, Baltimore is now a playoff battle with that win. Two spots remain, and battling for those two spots are 5 teams. 2 at 9-6, the Chargers and Broncos. Chargers have head-to-head; they swept the season series. And then the 7-8 teams, the Colts, Dolphins, and the Bengals. They're all still alive because they all won last week. Of course, Indy leads the 7-8 cluster. They have head-to-head over Miami and a better conference record than Cincinnati. And Miami has conference record over the Bengals, who sit at the bottom of the pack. So those are the standings. Now let's talk about who can get what and who can try to get what. Yes, so the Chiefs, with their win in Houston, moved one win closer to getting the number one seed in the AFC. They didn't get it last week because the Bills also won, but Kansas City is almost there. All they need is one more win to get it, a win or a tie, or get to the number one seed, and they kick off Week 17, like I said, in a matter of hours, Christmas Day in Pittsburgh against the Steelers. As mentioned before, 2 spots remain in the AFC. The Chargers and Broncos played each other to start week 16 on Thursday Night Football, and the Chargers came back and won. And as a result, their scenario for this week gets easier. Winning in, plain and simple. Winning in, tying in. Or if Indy and Miami both lose, they'll get that spot. The Chargers are in Foxborough, played against the New England team and almost beat the Bills. So, and that game will kick off the Saturday triple header on the NFL Network. Though the Broncos lost the game, they have not lost their right to control their own destiny, as they sit at 9-6 ahead of the pack. They sit at the 7th seed because, again, the Chargers have a tiebreak over them. But their scenario is simple: win and in, tie and in. That's it. That's their only scenario. And the Broncos are also part of that Saturday triple header. They will be in Cincinnati. Playing against the Bengals. Speaking of the Bengals, let's talk about them and the other 2 teams who still have some hope. Yes, these 3 teams are still alive. The Colts, Dolphins, and Bengals. They all won their games last week. The Colts won a thriller over the Tennessee Titans. The Miami Dolphins beat the already dead 49ers. And the Bengals defeated their in-state rivals, the Cleveland Browns, to hang on to whatever hope they have of getting in the playoffs. Though I say that, but the hope is still there. And so they're all tied at 7-8 outside the playoff line, but there's still a chance. They have chances. Indy has the best chance because, again, they lead this 7-8 cluster. They have 3 options. They have 3 ways to get in. Well, really 2 in a sense, but the first option is they got to win out, and the Chargers have to lose out. Plain and simple. Second option: the Colts have to win out, and the Colts have to win out. Broncos have to lose out, and the Dolphins have to win out. I think in that way, I think Indy would have the tiebreaker over Miami head to head. That would get them in, and option 3, Indy has to win out. Denver has to lose out, and Cincy has to win the final week. Because remember, it's Denver and Cincy play each other. The Colts face the New York Giants. So that should be kind of a cakewalk for them. After all, the Giants have lost 10 straight, and they're on the cusp of that number one pick, so they really don't want to do anything crazy, like actually try to win. The Dolphins still have a few ways to get in. One way is they need to win out, and Denver and the Chargers have to lose out. That's one way. However, if only one of those two moves out, then Indy has to lose or tie one of their two games. Because again, Miami and Indy, they finish tied. That's not going to help the Dolphins. The Dolphins are in Cleveland facing the 3-win Browns, so they have a cakewalk. As for the Bengals, they're on the lowest end of this log jam, and they only have one way to get in. They have to win out. Plus, Denver has to lose next week, the final week, because again, Cincy and Denver play each other. So Cincy has to win out. Denver has to lose in the final week, and Miami and Indy have to either lose or tie a game. Plain and simple. It doesn't matter which week they do it; they just have to do it. But yes, Cincy is a long shot. But hey, long shots tend to go successful Hail Marys around this time. So who knows? So it's going to be pretty interesting. And that is the AFC playoff picture and the scenarios entering Week 17 is going to be interesting. And for my story about the AFC picture on Vocal, there's the love. Check it out where you can. So if you like this video, click the like button. If you're on YouTube, click subscribe if you want more. If you're on TikTok, feel free to hit that follow button. And I'll be back with the NFC very, very soon. So stay tuned.